We're live, Jerry. We're live. Hey, good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well today. It is a Saturday, and we're doing our show. Anyway, what I want to talk about today, I think the Scrum Guide is making the same stupid mistake that it made with the 3 questions. And it's not really they made a mistake. It's that people are so amateurs to overinterpret exactly like it's gospel. Like you have to do exactly what the guide is. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the attendance at the daily scrum. And the item that's really causing trouble right now is the daily scrum is a 15-minute event, which is fine, for the developers of the scrum team. And that's where everybody cuts it off, just like the 3 questions. And we're going to dig into that today. So I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and he's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We talk about Scrum and Agile in a very practical and tactical way, and I'm going to get very practical and tactical on this answer for this thing, and I'm going to tell you why people are making these amateurish mistakes. And we do this so we can bring value to the customer. So you don't work crazy hours, and again, what they're telling you, what people are doing, is going to make you work crazy hours. And so you get home to family and friends, have fun at work, have fun at home, and enjoy life, right? It's not all about this crazy stuff. It's these damn Agile accountants that are coming out of woodwork with these who should attend a daily scrum. And they're influencing people. So let's talk about this. So in the Scrum Guide, so the topic, in the Scrum Guide says that this is the 2020 version, right? The daily scrum is a 15-minute event for the developers of the scrum team. Period, right? And then it goes, if the product owner or Scrum Master is actively working on items in a sprint backlog, they participate as developers. This is where the interpretation is completely wrong, in my opinion. You can fight me. I will debate this and we'll have discussions. Been doing this for 30 years. What goes on? What has value, right? So their thought process is, well, then product owners and Scrum Masters should not attend the daily scrum, which is absolutely ludicrous. I want to tell them, I said, who the freak thinks that's a great idea to do? Is it a great idea to tell your product owner they cannot attend daily scrum? Now, there's a difference of the wording I'm using. Attending and participating as developers are 2 different things, okay? This is where people overinterpret the words in the book. So I've always had it where the product owner and Scrum Master attend daily scrum. They just don't talk. And we invite stakeholders and they don't talk either. As a Scrum Master and as a coach, I would establish the rules of conversation for in the team and outside the team. Now, I would establish rules working with the team on the rules, but I would enforce those rules as Scrum Master to the product owners and stakeholders that would attend the daily scrum. Now, why do I say this? It says working on the stuff in the sprint, right? The idea is that the developers are working together to talk about things they need to work together to get stuff done. However, here's the thing. Maybe your team suck, right? They just absolutely suck. If you can't get anything done in your sprint until the last day of sprint, you're doing it. It sucks, right? Literally. You want the product owner to be there because you want the developer to let the product owner know that they're going to have stuff ready for them to approve every day in the sprint. Because who approves the work in a sprint? So now, by definition, working on items in the sprint, is the item in the sprint backlog done without the product owner approving? No. So why wouldn't so this is where the people's logic is. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. Why wouldn't the product owner be there so the team can say, hey, I'm going to be done with this story later today. We would like you to approve it. So, otherwise there's no burn down chart, right? If the product owner doesn't approve the work as you go, there is no burn down chart. It's not even worth putting, right? There's no looking at getting stuff done because they need feedback. So if you're in the daily scrum, you can let the product owner know, hey, later today, I will need your feedback on the story. We're going to be done. And you get your feedback and do it. How is that not by definition working on items in the sprint backlog. You're getting rapid feedback, and you want that feedback. So what do? You spend more time trying to locate your product owner and let the product owner know and set up another meeting with the product owner on top of the daily scrum. This is really a pet peeve of mine. That's so freaking ludicrous, right? Maybe they're out, but still, they should attend. They can see what's going on and what's working and kind of judge their time when they might be needed too, right? For the next 2 days, nothing's going to get done. So I'm going to go do other things during this first 2 days because you're all doing stuff and it doesn't look like you're, or some period, whatever, right? So that's one thing. So why wouldn't the product owner attend? So that's the product owner. And I challenge anybody why the product owner shouldn't be there every day. They don't have to know. It's a 15 freaking minute meeting. You're not going into development and solutioning. You're going to talk about your blockers. You're going to talk about your relationship. You're going to think about who's next, how to get the stuff to done. And done by definition involves the product owner approving the story in most cases, unless some team has some weird ass process that they came up with. And, well, yeah, we won't let the product owner and the customer see our work. We're just going to approve it ourselves. And it's not what they wanted, right? Yes, smart thinking there. Now the next one, Scrum Master. Who thinks the Scrum Master shouldn't be in the daily Scrum? It's called Scrum Master. Now, again, the Scrum Master should be there to make sure people aren't violating the Scrum, not violating the sprint. They help the team. Someone dropped this. Wait a minute. We can't. It's a governor factor. The governor, like you can't go, but it helps the team. And why shouldn't the Scrum Master? Isn't the Scrum Master's job to help get rid of blockers, keep things going? Maybe there's stuff outside the team doesn't know, but maybe the Scrum Master would want to share. Like, oh, by the way, in case everybody remember that tomorrow is picnic day, right? We don't do picnics anymore in this world, but if it was in my old days, we had picnics. Things like that. And the other thing, as a Scrum Master, why wouldn't you want to attend daily Scrum? You're going to see how people are talking, who's interacting, are people bossing around, are people violating the terms of being Agile? Are they violating the terms of being Scrum? Because your job is to enforce the Scrum operation. So if you're not in the Scrum operation, how are you going to know whether or not you're in the Scrum operation? So that's the other thing. Why do they do? So these two, just when people do it, it's like the 3 questions again. Well, the 3 questions. So we got to ask exactly what the 3 questions are, and we can't deviate. It's got to be those 3 questions. So the Scrum Max guy says, well, it's only supposed to be developers, so we can't invite anybody. No, that's just stupid, ludicrous. It's the same people that said, and why they got rid of the 3 questions, because people overinterpreted the 3 questions, right? And they're overinterpreting this idea. Now, stakeholders. Why wouldn't you want to have stakeholders? Now you enforce the rule that you can't talk. You can just listen and observe. If your team's worried, then there's a psychological safety. I get that. But when your team is more mature and they know what they're doing, there shouldn't be that psychological safety issue. I mean, if you're just totally amateurs in what you do as a team and you can't stand anybody, it's called transparency. It's one of the pillars of Scrum. Getting your stakeholders and customers involved. I think that's number 2. Working with customers, right? So having your stakeholders attend is perfectly legit. They just got to understand the rules, where they just sit there and observe, and later on, if they want to come back and ask questions after the daily Scrum or come back to the Scrum Master and ask for stuff, they can, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And who the hell would tell their I mean, why can't a manager sit in daily Scrum and see how things are going? So people are so intimidated in the organization that if the manager shows up, then nothing gets done. That's a weak ass organization. Got a lot of work to do as a Scrum Master to fix that, right? So, and you got to train your manager. You got to coach them too. Anyway, so that's what I want to share today. It's a damn 3 questions all over again. People are over-interpreting. Only developers could go to daily Scrum. That is so stupid, so ludicrous how they think the product owner is not involved in the sprint backlog, who has to approve the stories unless you have some freaky rule that says product owner never approves the stories in the sprint backlog. I've yet to see that, but I'd be curious, right? That who would write that? I don't think anyone would ever write that and hold their head up. And then the Scrum Master. Why wouldn't the Scrum Master show up at Daily Scrum? How are they going to know how things are going? How are they going to help people out? How are they going to make sure they're performing and see what they have to say and how they're interacting and all that stuff if they're not there? How are they going to facilitate the meeting as a trained facilitator if they're not there? Anyway, it's my rant. It's terrible, but it is what it is. So, if you have a question about the Daily Scrum and you want me to take it up with somebody, I'd be more than happy to take that battle on. So, please give us a thumbs up if you like the show. And ring the bell twice. Kids stole the bell. I had 2 bells here. They're all gone. I have a sleeping dog over here. Took her out. He's over there. Oh, apparently Betty, who's hiding her face, she ate dirt this morning. Dirt. I got no food in here, nothing for her to eat. She decided she had to eat my wife's bag of pot dirt. She ate dirt. Who would have thought that? Anyway, the pleasure of owning a Basset Beagle from the pound. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. So she ate one of those too, a whole 2 pounds of chocolates and 21 Cadbury Easter eggs. And what did you eat the other day? She ate something the other day. I don't know what she ate. She eats stuff. I think she just thinks she needs to do it. Anyway, you all have a great day. Enjoy your day. And again, who in the right mind would ever think the product owner who approves stories should be approving stories on a daily basis is not involved in Daily Scrum nor part of the sprint backlog? And who would ever think the Scrum Master, whose job is to make sure that Scrum is run well, shouldn't be the Daily Scrum? The one event that you have every day. You're just creating sessions where people need to go in and have more meetings, which is stupid. Happy Scrumming, everyone. See you tomorrow and take care. Bye.